7 evident signs that there is an evil woman next to you. Some women light up a room the moment they enter. Others? Well, the brightness returns as soon as they leave. Now don't misunderstand, this isn't about bitterness or pointing fingers. It's about perspective. If you've lived long enough, and you have, you already know, not every smiling face is a friend, and not every hand you hold is meant to hold you back. Life is too precious to spend it giving your energy, your time, and your hard-won peace to women who leave you feeling drained, doubtful, or disoriented, especially those who hide behind charm, beauty, or flawless manners. In this video, we're going to break down 6 clear signs of unhealthy traits in women that every man should recognize. This isn't about judgment, it's about discernment. It's about knowing who belongs in your circle and who's just there to take from it. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. And I'd argue it also depends on the company you choose to keep. Let's sharpen that awareness. Let's get into it. 1. She always plays the victim. One of the clearest red flags. She always casts herself as the victim. And I mean always. No matter the situation, whether it's a run-in at the store, drama with an old friend, or her string of failed relationships, she's always the one who was betrayed, misunderstood, or wronged. You sit across from her, listening. She seems genuine at first, even vulnerable. You might think, maybe she just needs someone who won't hurt her. That's how it begins. But the deeper you go, the more you realize it's not about past wounds. It's about control. Take Tom, for example. A kind, grounded man. After his divorce, he met a woman like this. She shared stories of heartbreak about lying exes, jealous coworkers, and a family that never supported her. Tom admired her strength, at first. But the tales never ended. The narrative stayed the same, everyone else was the problem. Soon, Tom realized he had unknowingly stepped into a role, either the savior or the villain. If he disagreed, he became just another person who let her down. That's the trap. A woman who refuses to take ownership of her actions will reframe every situation to protect her ego. Avoid accountability. Slowly cast you as the next person who's hurting her. According to Stoic philosophy, we can't control others, only ourselves. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. But a woman who sees herself as a perpetual victim avoids that power. She prefers to let the world carry the burden of her emotions, and if you're not careful, she'll hand that burden directly to you. What should you do? Acknowledge the pattern. Stop trying to be the rescuer. Refuse to carry emotional weight that isn't yours. Maintain strong boundaries. And most importantly, if nothing changes, walk away. It's not cruelty. It's clarity. 2. She thrives on drama. You don't always see this one at first, but you'll feel it. She lives for drama. And I'm not talking about occasional emotion, we all have our moments. This is about a woman whose life plays out like a never-ending soap opera, and she insists on dragging you into it. If things get too peaceful, too calm, she stirs up trouble just to feel something. Chaos is her comfort zone. She needs to be the center of emotional gravity, no matter the cost. It often starts subtly. She gets moody because you didn't respond fast enough. A small disagreement snowballs into a full-blown argument. You're suddenly apologizing for things you don't even understand. And she seems more energized the more chaotic things get. Why? Because conflict gives her control. It makes her feel significant. Seneca once said, "An angry man opens his mouth and shuts his eyes." That applies here, too. Someone hooked on emotional turbulence isn't looking for truth or resolution. They're chasing intensity, not peace. And if you're within reach, you'll be swept into the storm. What's the danger for you? You start losing yourself. You become reactive, anxious, constantly walking on eggshells hoping to avoid the next eruption. And once you lose your calm, you've lost your strength. The answer? Don't engage in every fire she lights. Observe, don't absorb. Withdraw emotionally instead of trying to fix it. Remember, you are not an actor in her play. Epictetus said we must control our responses, not others' actions. Sometimes, the strongest response is silence and space. Protect your peace. Guard your center. 3. She uses guilt as a weapon. Guilt can be a powerful emotional lever. And the wrong woman knows exactly how to use it, not openly, but subtly. This type of woman manipulates through disappointment. She won't shout. She won't accuse. She'll just go quiet. Look sad. Withdraw, until you're the one rushing to fix something that might not even be broken. You cancel a plan to focus on work. She gets distant. You take time for yourself. Suddenly, you're selfish. You're not a bad man, but she'll make you feel like one unless you keep sacrificing your boundaries. And here's the trap: you start bending, then breaking your own values to keep the peace. But Stoicism teaches, peace doesn't come from appeasing others. It comes from being aligned with your own reason and virtue. If someone is consistently making you feel guilty for being true to your responsibilities, your purpose, or your need for space, that's not love, it's control. The antidote? Recognize emotional manipulation for what it is. Stop negotiating with guilt. Stay true to your values, even when it makes others uncomfortable. Set boundaries and reinforce them with calm firmness. You were not put here to shrink yourself to fit someone else's emotional needs. 4. She tests your loyalty through mind games. One of the more destructive traits is subtle. At first she constantly tests your loyalty, but not in open, honest ways. Instead, she plays games. She plants seeds of doubt. She withholds affection to see if you'll chase. She flirts with others just to watch your reaction. At first, you might think she's just being playful or mysterious. But with time, it becomes clear, this isn't about romance. It's about control. The Stoics warned against becoming a slave to passion, and this is why. A woman who thrives on games thrives on keeping you off balance. When you're uncertain, when you're trying to earn her approval, you're easier to manipulate. You'll find yourself jumping through hoops, proving your devotion over and over again while she sits back, calculating your every move. And here's the kicker, the rules are always changing. What pleased her yesterday will disappoint her today. The bar keeps moving. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity. For he is not permitted to prove himself." But these kinds of mind games aren't adversity. They're distractions. They're emotional traps meant to keep you spinning in circles instead of standing in your power. A healthy relationship is built on truth. Not tests. Not games. Not manipulation disguised as fun. What should you do? Step out of the game entirely. Stop performing for someone else's approval. Make peace with being misunderstood if it means protecting your peace. Ask yourself, am I growing here or just reacting? In Stoicism, true strength lies in self-mastery. A woman who plays games doesn't want a strong man, she wants one she can control. Don't be him. 5. She disrespects your time, goals, and mission. A truly dangerous woman isn't always loud about it, but she'll quietly sabotage the life you're building. How? By dismissing your time, mocking your goals, or pulling you off your mission with constant distractions and emotional demands. At first, it feels innocent. She wants to talk when you're working. She gets irritated when you focus on your training, your craft, your purpose. She makes you feel guilty for staying disciplined. And if you're not careful, you'll start slipping. One skipped routine becomes 2. One missed commitment becomes a habit. And soon, you're off course wondering how you got here. Epictetus warned. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If your vision is strong, you must guard it with strength. A woman who doesn't respect your time or your growth will slowly erode your potential. Not because she's evil but because she doesn't see the value in your path. Here's the test. Does she encourage you to stay focused or does she distract you when it matters most? Does she respect your silence, your solitude, your grind, or does she take it personally? Does she see your mission as a threat or a purpose she can support? The wrong woman won't just pull you off track, she'll convince you that the track doesn't matter. That you're too serious, or too distant, or too obsessed. But that's exactly what discipline looks like. The solution? Set unshakable boundaries around your time and purpose. Don't explain, negotiate, or apologize for your focus. If she can't align with your mission, she doesn't belong in your vision. A good woman won't compete with your purpose, she'll respect it. The wrong one will try to replace it. Don't let her. 6. She doesn't respect herself and it shows. This one's subtle but critical. You can't have a peaceful life with a woman who doesn't honor herself. If she has no sense of self-worth, no standards, no self-awareness, she can't possibly contribute to a relationship that thrives on mutual respect. At first, it may look like confidence. She's bold, outspoken, maybe even a little wild. But watch her choices. Does she chase validation from strangers? Is she careless with her body, her words, her time? Does she blame others for consequences she created? That's not strength, it's instability dressed up as independence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into thyself, there is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look." But a woman who doesn't look inward will look outward constantly. For attention. For approval. For someone else to give her the identity she hasn't built on her own. And that creates a dangerous imbalance. If she doesn't respect herself, she won't know how to respect you. She'll cross boundaries and call it love. Sabotage stability and call it passion. Reject peace and call it boring. Here's what you must understand: you cannot teach someone self-respect. You can inspire it, but you can't build it for them. The fix? Watch how she treats herself before you fall for how she treats you. Don't be fooled by surface-level confidence, look for quiet self-worth. Know that true beauty starts with inner stillness, not external noise. A Stoic man doesn't run from emotion, he rises above it. In the world of men, there exists a false narrative, one that says masculinity means suppressing emotion, bottling it all up, never flinching. But that's not strength. That's fear wearing the mask of toughness. A Stoic man, however, walks a different path. He doesn't run from emotion, he learns to understand it. He studies his reactions, observes his impulses, and trains himself to remain unmoved by chaos. He doesn't let his emotions rule him, but neither does he deny their presence. He sees emotion for what it is, a signal, not a master. Anger. It shows where your boundaries were crossed. Sadness. It reveals what matters to you. Love. It uncovers what you're willing to protect. But the moment a man allows emotion to dictate his behavior without first subjecting it to the discipline of reason, he ceases to be in control. This is what Stoicism teaches: not to be cold but to be clear. Not to be heartless but to be harmonious within. And here's the truth most men learn the hard way, especially in relationships. Understanding emotion does not mean staying in toxic situations. Compassion does not require self-abandonment. Love without wisdom becomes servitude. Not every battle is yours to fight. Some of the deepest pain a man can experience doesn't come from war or failure, it comes from giving his heart to someone who doesn't know how to hold it. Maybe you've been there. You fell for her beauty, her charm, her spark. She made you feel seen, even needed. In the beginning, things felt magnetic, intense, intoxicating. But slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the confusion crept in. You found yourself drained after every conversation. You questioned your worth more often than you felt reassured. The peace you once had began to erode. And you stayed. Because you thought love meant loyalty at all costs. But a Stoic man knows better. Wisdom is not only knowing what to pursue, it's knowing what to release. And sometimes, the wisest thing a man can do, is walk away. Not out of anger. Not to prove a point. But because clarity demands it. If she leaves you confused, she's not your peace. Let's strip away the illusions and speak plainly. If a woman consistently leaves you, wondering if you're good enough, feeling like you're constantly falling short, chasing after her approval more than you're walking in your purpose, then she is not your peace. And peace is not a luxury, it's your power base. Your stillness is where your strength is sharpened. And any relationship that disturbs your clarity is costing you more than it's giving you. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Let that sink in. The energy you surround yourself with, the voices you allow in your life eventually become your inner dialogue. If her words belittle you, if her actions make you doubt yourself, if her love feels more like a performance than a partnership, you will start to internalize that dysfunction. And that's not love. That's slow erosion. Why we stay, and why we must stop. So why do good men stay? Hope, you keep thinking she'll change, that she'll see your value eventually. Fear, you're scared to start over or be alone. Ego, you think walking away means losing. Guilt, she's trained you to feel responsible for her happiness. But here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not your job to fix a woman who refuses to grow. It's not your role to carry someone who refuses to walk beside you. And being a Stoic doesn't mean suppressing your heartbreak. It means feeling it without becoming it. It means walking through the fire of disappointment without letting it burn away your self-worth. The company you keep shapes the man you become. Seneca once said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." If your relationship feels more like a storm than shelter, you must ask, what is this costing me? Is it making me better or bitter? Stronger or smaller? Clearer or constantly confused? A Stoic man doesn't tolerate chaos simply because he fears confrontation. He faces truth head-on even when it hurts. And when that truth reveals that a woman you love is not good for your soul, you don't wait for her to leave first. You take ownership of your peace. Because real men don't just protect others, they protect their own energy first. When you let her go, you reclaim yourself. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom in action. It's saying, I choose clarity over confusion. I choose peace over performance. I choose truth over temporary pleasure. When you walk away from the woman who consistently drains your soul, you're not just ending a relationship, you're making space for something sacred, your true self. You begin to hear your own voice again. Reconnect with your mission. Rise from emotional dependency to self-respect. You start building a life with or without her, anchored in purpose, not reaction. That is what a Stoic man does. Choose what strength really looks like. Strength isn't staying in pain until you're numb. Strength is saying no more with calm resolve. Holding your boundaries without raising your voice. Loving deeply without losing yourself. And in relationships, that means being vigilant. It means spotting the difference between a challenge and a drain. Between a woman who sharpens you and one who shatters you.